lights, camera, action! Hey, welcome everyone to the silver screen. And the curtain's open. So you get the whole visual of that, don't you? If you are a movie buff, or if you know people who are, or maybe you're just a star, because we know what you all are, this is the perfect collection for you. It is a vintage feeling movie collection. Now, not so much just about like, okay, we had a night at the movies with popcorn and everything else. It's got all the great stuff of video cameras and everything that you are the star of this movie. So it's really a tribute to the old silver screen. Obviously, if you have a black and white photo or make a photo black and white, you are going to absolutely love this kit. So included in this kit, for those of you that haven't watched our videos before, this is our bundled collection. Our bundled collection includes when you order this one product, you get all 5 coordinated products within this. So in purchasing it this way, this gives you so much more creative abilities because you get our FQB, which includes papers and elements, our Silver Screen 2 additional papers pack, our Alpha, our Silver Screen Solids additional paper pack, and our Silver Screen Little Bits, which is an additional elements pack. There's no duplicates in this, and you will also save 20% versus purchasing these items individually. So it really is truly a great deal in order to purchase this way, but you also get the full effect of the entire kit. So with that, let's go in and see exactly what this kit will offer you here. And our background papers, you're going to see there's some fabulous patterns in here. Obviously, the vintage feel, there it is starting out with the cinema, the Showtime movie night. It's got the film strips. It's got the old-time camera. You're starting to get the feel of it already, and obviously in some great alternate colors as well. We like to give you lots of colors and options with the background papers, so that way, no matter what way you would like to create, however you envision this kit, you certainly have background papers in order to complete your project, whether that's cards, layouts, mini albums, whatever. You also get these fabulous background papers. This background, Mary's just called it movie background. Look at this, the tickets in there, the whole cluster of all these elements already done for you. So when you're starting out your project, can you easily see how this is going to work? We're going to come up to a digital stamp, which is movie night. I'm going to show you that one towards the end of the FQB. You're going to see how fantastic that would look right on this beautiful white background. And you have such a great starting point. It's always important to have a great starting point, just so that it makes creating easier, gives you a little bit of creative inspiration and vision. In case you're sitting there just, we all have our things when you look at a blank sheet of paper and you think, exactly, what am I going to create here? I really like the kit. I know I've got this photo, or I know I've got this feel, but where do I start with this? That gives you those options there. Obviously here, you can see those are actually the little film reels. Each little item is one of those little film reels, if you haven't seen that up until this point, if it's a little small on your screen. But that's what those are. Some stars, obviously, when we're talking about movies, we see movie stars, right? Or maybe stars in our eyes. Maybe that's another good way to go with this, is maybe you had met a movie star or things like that. The big ticket. So again, a great background paper. A lot going on already on this paper in terms of its creative options. Mary Fran has lined up those tickets beautifully and put in those nice black bands. Gives you the center in order to start having your creative vision take place and be put together. So there's the tickets in full regalia, in full background papers. You're going to see how I use this in the card making idea, and you'll see, oh, how does this look? How does this turn out? I'll show you a picture of that at the end. Here as well, big words. Like, doesn't that look like something? You can almost sit there and look at it. You know how on the trailers for stuff and they have the words kind of coming out at you? Doesn't that look like just like that? Just great ideas Mary Fran has for these things. Just fantastic. And there's that vintage feel. Not that it hasn't come out in a lot of these other ones, but you can really see it there. Has that worn look, that age-old look to it. Just fantastic. The elements start out with the border. Again, a great way. Film strip obviously has to be part of this. That just goes without saying. But again, a great border piece in order to use it within your creations. The bullhorns. Hey, we all like to yell through that. As you can see from the loudness of my voice, I don't even need one of those, but I sure like them. I think it could probably enhance my voice, really get it out there, my word and my meaning. The buttons, again, the vintage feel. Look at the worn button, like the paint is starting to peel. It's been around for a long time. Even the style of it with the depressed centers here. Again, for those of you that haven't used the buttons, really just say, you know what? No matter what I'm making, I'm going to really try using the buttons in this. Just give yourself that little commitment. You will love how they turn out. You make them typically nice and small. They fill out small little areas and give them some color and some interest. The clapboards, there you are. Mary Fran has even given you everything in there already lined up, so you just have to write them in. Production, director, camera, date, scene, and take. How fabulous is that? We always have photos of people kind of hamming it up, or whether that's a card. Imagine making that. Let's just go back here. Imagine making this for a baby's card. Maybe somebody's having a new baby. Well, we know how to fill those in, right? That's the day the baby was born. That's the first day of their life, or it's their birthday, or whatever the case may be. There's so many options you can have with these clapboards, and that's a wrap. You could use that for a graduation. You could use that for retirement card. The options are just endless, right? The clusters. Here we go with one of the clusters with Enjoy the Show. Obviously, Mary Fran does a fabulous job of these, and it makes creating so much easier for us because we can just put this entire cluster into our creation. Mary Fran is a great designer in terms of scale. She's already got the shadowing on here for us. I know when I create stuff with it, like the cards and stuff, it makes life so much easier than me having to build that myself. The film strip, again, in a blank format. So if you have photos that you want to put in there, this gives you that ability. For creating digitally, these are opaque behind this. So even if you're printing this out, if you're one of our customers, which we do have very many, and we do it ourselves sometimes as well, to create and print stuff out and create with it in physical paper. Well, what you can do is you take your photo, resize it, place it in these little squares, all 5 photos, and then you can print it out as one, so your photos are already printed in there. So just a little tip and trick for you there. Same thing in the individual film strips. Maybe you didn't want to do the whole 5 of them, you just had the one scene or whatever. Same thing applies with this. This is blank behind it. So when you put this film strip piece over top of your photo, when you layer it right on top, before you print, this does not show up as white or anything like that. This is clear, so that your photo will show through. Simple frames, obviously, you can see they're nice and simple, but well done. Have a unique border inside here. Again, once you place your photo in here, don't forget to embellish. You can use all of the individual elements that you'll find in the FQB or in the little bits in order to embellish those and make those exactly the way you wanted to see them. Journal mats, great journaling areas. Again, we all need things in order to diarize and write up a little bit about that memory, or perhaps this is a card insert, so this is where you write in a special note to that person, but it all coordinates with everything else that you're doing. So what a fabulous thing to do for someone. It really puts that over the top in terms of that sentiment, gift, and the thoughtfulness that you've put into this. A label for lights, camera, and action. I think those words would suit this kit. You be the judge. You ought to be in pictures. You're wonderful to see. Again, a fantastic way to use the film strip. If you're creating and you're doing cards versus layouts and not using photos, there you go. You can put main elements in the inside of these film strips. You can put in background papers, and that can be your frame to frame in your main elements. What a great item for the front of your card or the inside of your card if you want to adorn the inside of your card. Metal stars. So again, like I was saying earlier, you can adorn those photo frames. You have lots of stuff. You can see the shimmer and shine in that. It's a very metallic feel to it. There's the movie camera. The old school movie camera. Now, isn't that fun stuff? It kind of reminds you a little bit of, remember those history classes you have to have in like grade 10, and they put on a film and it was on those reels, and by, I don't know how far you got in, but I only got about 5 minutes before I was sleeping on my desk. But movie night ticket. Look at how fantastic this is done. And again, vintage feel. There's the wornness to the paper and in there. This looks like it was perhaps in somebody's coat pocket for years, things like that. Just a fabulous, fabulous item to work with. Movie reels in their singleness. Again, we want to give you a creative option so that way you can create it exactly the way you wanted to and have the look exactly the way you want. Fresh popcorn. Obviously, movies have to have fresh popcorn. And what a great sign. Doesn't that look like it would hang in a movie theater and say, hey, fresh popcorn, hot and buttery, 15 cents right here. Again, the real vintage feel, taking you back to that great nostalgic look. Production strips. So starring, location set, production date, and produced by, story written by. So again, fantastic elements in order to utilize. And use your imagination with these. Like I mentioned earlier, the story written by. Well, that could be for a baby. That could be for someone's retirement and you're memorializing or kind of going through their years that they had with their family, their company, their whatever. Use your imagination with these. They're fabulous items. Ribbons. Again, I know I've talked about ribbons before, but again, there's another one. Make yourself that commitment that I'm going to try and use the ribbons in one of my creations that I use this kit for. You're going to see how easy they are to use and how wonderful they turn out. So here's that sentiment label. Remember that background way back when it had the white on it and it had all the clustering down the side and across the bottom? This is the stamp I was talking about. The family movie night, sit back and enjoy the show. Again, can you see that placed on that nice white background? You have all the elements already down the side and down the corner. You have a starting point right there. A few more stars in a little different appeal and a little different feel. You maybe didn't want to go to the metallic way. You maybe wanted something a little more vintage looking like this. So Mary Fran's giving you those options as well. Tickets. Now, we had to have tickets in here because obviously movies and tickets go hand in hand. Hopefully you didn't lose them when you were going through, but fantastically done. Really, again, that vintage feel comes through in how Mary Fran has chosen the font work for it, have that worn look to it throughout the font and things like that. Ideal. And here's a blank one for you. So maybe there's something else you wanted to place in here. You could take one of the other word tags and put it through here. You're going to see some blank word tags coming up that you maybe want to place in there and handwrite in there. There's many, many options for the blank ones here as well that can give you such great appeal. Now you can also use it just as is if you'd like. It's a great little tuck-in item, which is maybe tucked in behind something. So, boy, you don't want something too elaborate on here because you're kind of losing its appeal or only showing half of it. That's kind of the reason for the blank tickets is it doesn't obscure something that you're thinking, oh, well, that's kind of a shame that I did this. These are what these are for here. And enjoy the show in the word strip so that way, again, you saw how Mary Fran used that when she made her cluster, but you can choose how exactly you want it. Roll camera and some blanks for you. Again, so that you can use these as word strips so that you can write in names, you can write in dates, you can write in anything you want. Perhaps it's the person you met, the movie star that you met. You want to write that in there. You have this ability in order to have something that goes so well coordinated and with the feel and look of this kit. So that is just the FQB and the items that are included in that. In our little bits again are fully coordinated items. There's no duplicates, but you can see the clusters. The little bits is really full of clusters and finished items. This is a great pack in order to get if you are like me, who I'm not the best with scale or how far do I shrink this or whatever. Mary Fran gives us such fabulous items in here in order to create with that we can just create. I have all the parts and pieces, I just put it together. I don't need to build all these things, and in order to get a great cluster of items, Mary Fran's done the hard work for us. Look at this cinema label with feature presentation and then a great journaling area down below as well. How fabulous is that? General audience, suited for all ages. Is that not something you see on every movie poster, on every TV show? Just a great addition for the feel of this kit. I'm ready for my close-up. Hopefully we have some of those people. And look at this. Star Cinema feature presentation now showing the Feel Good Movie of the Year. Obviously, again, this is opaque behind. So you can either use that in a card format where you have a main element back here or layout. where you have main elements back here, but imagine the photo in there. Imagine somebody hamming it up for the camera. There is their photo in there. They feel like a star. This is their billing and their playbill. That's a wrap. Take 2. Again, terrific word strips, additional ones in order to add to the feel and to hopefully maybe even hit upon exactly what you're trying to say, because that certainly makes it easy to add in. Our 2 paper pack. You've seen the actual patterns before in the FQB, but they do not come in these colors. So once again, for those of you that are watching and wondering about that, there are no duplicate papers. This is additionally colored items. So that way, like I said to you before, if you want and have a certain vision, we want to make sure that you have that color and that paper in that color. So that is the reason for the 2 paper pack. It gives you so many more creative options. Our solids, I'm not sure if you can see it really well in this. Maybe you can see it better in this color. You can see there is a little bit of a muted line pattern in here. So it does give it a little bit of interest and texture, but it is meant as well for the perfect color coordinated paper in order to back your main elements, back your photos, whatever it is, you can have the exact color coordinated items to go with. And lastly, our alpha. This is our talk, and look at that. It is such, does that not just say vintage, right? The words, the letters, the style of the font, it really embodies the kit in itself. So this way you can use this alpha in order to spell words, names, dates, titles, you name it. There is all the letters, some punctuation and numbers as well. So that way you have the ability in order to really highlight something, just like it is on a marquee in a movie or whatever the case may be. You really want to again, if you haven't used the alphas, make yourself that commitment in order to, I'm going to try using that. Let's just see how that works out. Here's where I'd put it, you know, kind of in a title way or as a little thing underneath a photo, whatever it is. These are fabulous alphas in order to have that punctuation. So lastly, for a little bit of inspiration, here is the layout that Mary Fran did. And you can see where she used this background paper. What a great thing with the film strip on top. She's gone more in the white and the clean presentation for this. But look at this. What a sweet photo of our niece. And here it is with all the clustered items. You can see how it goes together so well. Remember I was talking about use the buttons. Maybe make that one of your things. Look at how Mary Fran has chosen to use the buttons and include the buttons in here. See how nice they are? As they use them like a thumbtack around this enjoy the show thing. You can use them around to hold, almost looking like it holds something up. But the star by itself may be a little plain. You may find, oh, I'll give it a little extra hit of silver because I have lots of silver in here. There's how you utilize the buttons. The ribbons, Mary Fran used those at the bottom, and you can see how she used 2 of them here just to add in and kind of mirror something on the top. Again, great ways to use these things, and you can see by all the elements, you can see how it comes together so well. In terms of the card, remember I was talking about that background paper where the words kind of seem like they're coming at you there? There it is in a card. It gives you such great interest. Doesn't that just kind of draw you in and think, oh, what's all that? And what does this say back here? Oh, yeah. It all goes together so well. This is a card, and again, story written by. I utilize this, like I mentioned to you earlier, with the idea of, hey, this is for someone, for maybe a new special person, or they've got themselves a dog, or whatever it is. That was my kind of thought behind this. I've left the inside of it blank so I can utilize it for different things. But for the exterior, it gives that so vintage movie presentation, and then you can spin it in a different direction with that tag. So I hope that you've liked watching this video. I hope that it gives you a little more insight into what this kit offers in its entirety, and I hope that it's given you some inspiration. So before you go, look down on the right hand side of the screen here. Check out our Nitwit Collections video. Hover your mouse over that. That'll come up, and click on that so that way you can be subscribed to our YouTube channel. You'll be made aware whenever new videos come out. Give us a thumbs up if you liked the video, and leave us a comment. Let us know your thoughts on this kit. Let us know if you have any questions or anything like that. Let us know what you're going to create with it. We always love to hear from you and know what things you're creating with it. So thanks again for tuning into the video, and we hope that you'll take off now. Head on over to our store and pick this kit up for yourself, because There are so many creative ideas with this, and we know that you people are creative. That's why you're here. Thanks again for tuning in, and we hope you enjoy the silver screen.